What's good, YouTube? Your boy 21 here, presenting back on Info 40 channel. Thanks again, Robbie, as always, for the guest upload. Today's episode, I'm going to be talking to you guys about how to side deck for October 2014 format. Now, this is a video I did on my channel, but this is a re-innovative version of that video because my side deck's changed a tad bit much since the original video I did on my channel. So, without further ado, let's begin. Also, the reason why I'm doing this video is because a lot of players have problems side decking. I got a few messages over the past couple of weeks saying how to side deck for this matchup, how do I keep consistently going X1 at locals, and even some players at locals even ask me like, what do they side for? What do they side and what should they side for certain matchups? Because majority of players they just side what they see pro players side, and honestly, that's not always the best way to go, especially if you're running rogue decks from like I am. So my side deck I'm going to show you is not for meta decks. I repeat, my side deck I'm going to show you is not for meta decks, meaning Shadows. I mean, meta decks could side some of the stuff in the side deck, but Shadows, Burning Abyss, oh yeah, Satella Knights, probably shouldn't be siding all of these cards. This is strictly for the rogue players. So sorry, you competitive guys, but I play rogue. I love playing rogue, and with this side deck, I barely lose against meta. I only lose to really drawing break hands or them just drawing godly. So once again, without further ado, let's begin with the side deck.
From the top to the bottom, at the core, I forgot, in the middle of my thoughts.
Alright guys, this is currently my side deck, and the blank card is going to be another Nobleman Crossout. I'll explain why I'm running two in just a second. Now, once again, this side deck works for me, and with the side deck, I've been consistently doing good at locals. I really only lose to brick hands, and just pretty much drawing bad. Well, my opponent drawing amazing. Now, I know the side deck ain't for everyone, but this is what I've come up with to help me beat the meta, so hopefully it'll help you guys do the same. Also, notice the nice-ass TCG Player State Championship map. I made top 8 at that event, and it was pretty nice, and I like the map. I think it's pretty sexy, the little girl right here, and the little guy right there. So let me go over the explanations. The obvious 3 Shadow Mirrors. Shadows, Burning Abyss. You need to side 3 of these, because if you don't, they will pretty much push your shit in. Now, opening this up gives you just so much advantage of them, because if they can't plus off of you with their effects, they're pretty much going to turn themselves into a balanced deck, which overall helps them lose the game if they're playing against something like Rogue, like Madolches and whatever. Now, I know some players said that, yeah, I played against Madolches mainly Shadow Mirrors and I still beat them, like Jeff Jones did, and that's only because they ran their moral tags and their artifact engine. Now, when running up against people who run the artifact engine, if you're playing Rogue and you're not running Vanity's Emptiness, you shouldn't really be playing competitively right now. That sounds kind of harsh, but it's the truth, because if you don't have an out to like big things like a Sanctum play or Moral Tag play, you're gonna have a pretty much hard time against the meta decks, because a lot of meta decks run those. Now, fortunately for me, a lot of players on my locals don't run the artifact engine because they think it's bad and they think the Lightsworn engine is better, which is the same concept. Because I flipped this over against the Shadow Lightsworn player and they summon Lila, I'm gonna have a bad time unless I open up with a bottomless drop hole. 3 Shadow Mirrors, very good. Okay, 1 Soul Drain, 1 Macro. These also going for the Shadow matchup. So Shadow matchup is pretty much when I'm siding for that matchup is 3 of these, 2 of these guys, and Chaos Trap Hole. And my new addition I just added, the crossouts. That is 2, 4, 5, 8. Now, the reason why I sided 8 cards is because, you know, if you're running a 40 card deck, you're not always going to draw your side, and you really want to draw something to help you combat against the meta decks. Now, when I power shuffle, I rarely open up with my side. Even when I side in 8 cards, I might open up 2 to 3 cards, which is pretty good, because usually if you're siding in against something like Shadows or Burning Abyss, and you side in 8 cards, you're going to see at least 1 of them, and that 1 card can help you win again. Like, 1 Shadow Mirror can instantly win you the game against Burning Abyss. Same goes for Shadows. And for Shadows, I know for a fact what I'm siding out. Like, for example, when I side in 3 Shadow Mirrors, 1 Soul Drain, 1 Macro, 1 Chaos Trap Hole, 1 and 2 Crossouts, I'm siding out my 3 Gadgets, I'm siding out Chalices, I'm siding out my Katakagas and etc. Basically, when you're siding against these decks going into a tournament, you have to know automatically what are you going to side out, because if you don't, you're going to have a hard time. You're not going to know what to side in properly. Let me just go back into explaining some of the choices a little bit more. Soul Drain is really good because it's flexible and it's versatile. Like, not only is it good against Shadows, it helps you against the Burning Abyss matchup as well. You know, the Rogue Mermails. Sorry about that. I went brain dead for a second. And same thing with Macro. Macro and Soul Drain is really good for those Rogue Mermail decks. And any other Rogue graveyard-based decks like Chaos Dragons, which people are playing right now. So you want to have cards in your side deck that can be sided heavily for the meta and some stuff for the Rogue. Same goes for Chaos Trap Hole. Now, I know a lot of people saying Chaos Trap Hole is bad. They don't want to pay the life points because it is 2,000. But Chaos Trap Hole is really good because it's essentially another Solemn Warning. And why would you want to run another Solemn Warning? Well, for you guys that played in 2012 format like I did, opening up double Solemn Warning pretty much won you the game. So my theory is, since I feel like everyone should be running Solemn Warning in their main deck anyway, if you run Chaos Trap Hole and you luckily draw into your Solemn Warning and Chaos Trap Hole, or if you just draw into these throughout the game and control the game, there's nothing like stopping an opponent's summon. And plus, this gets the bonus of banishing an opponent's monster, so stuff like Burning Abyss and etc. won't get their effects off. And it also hits light monsters, so for the Satellite Knight matchup, when they summon their Deneb, you cast Trap Hole and they're stuck with Allstairs in the hand, it's going to give them a pretty much hard time. I think it's really good for that matchup as well. So yeah, I explained these, explained the Shadow Mirrors, explained the Chaos Trap Hole. The Noblemen of Crossouts, now a lot of people are going to give me shit for this, I know you guys are, but this is the reason why I sided. And you guys, I'm up for debate to this card. The 2 Noblemen of Crossout, I'm sorry, I'm poor, I don't have another one right now, I will have one soon, was mainly because of the Yugioh structure deck and the fact that Jeff Jones and Billy Brake both did good with 50 to 60 card Shadow decks. Now, why would you run a side deck against Shadows when they're running Sinister Shadow games? Here's why. 50 to 60 card main decks, meaning they're not going to draw their Sinister Shadow games. If you're running a 40 card deck and you side in at least 2 crossouts, you're more than likely 9 times out of 10, especially if you're running draw power like Upstart Goblins, Reckless Reader, etc. You're going to be drawing your Noblemen of Cross, or if you're just deck thinning with your Satellite Knight deck, you're going to be drawing it to your Noblemen of Crossout way faster than they draw their Sinister Shadow games. And hell, if you open, and you're going to have a higher chance of opening up your 2 Noblemen you side into versus them opening up a Sinister Shadow games because they're running a 50 to 60 card deck. Now, if you don't believe me, test it out. If you're a Shadow player, make a 50 card deck and see how often you open up a Sinister Shadow game. I guarantee you, you don't open it as often as you think you would, making cards like this more viable. Because, you know, back in the day when the format first started, Noblemen of Crossout was sided heavily for Shadows and Gear Gears when Gear Gears was a thing. Then as Gear Gears faded out and Shadow players just learned how to use their Sinister Shadow games properly, people realized how bad Crossout was. But I feel like, honestly, people are going to follow the trend of Billy Brake and Jeff Jones and start running 50 to 60 card Shadow-based decks based on the fact that both of them did good at 2 premier events 2 weeks in a row, showing how good a 50 to 60 card deck Shadow deck could be. So since both of them did really well one, I feel like a lot of people are going to jump on a bandwagon, and since a lot of people are going to jump on a bandwagon, in my opinion, cards like Crossout will be good again for us people who like to run low deck counts. And then, you know, the Gear Gear matchup, Crossout armor is always a good thing. Now, granted, one of my subscribers made a good point that you can always, that Gear Gear is going to have their 1 card play with the Gear Gear Augur that's coming out in the set. But I can always make an argument like, your opponent, you can always do the out game, like, oh, they open up Augur, they can do their players. Well, if I open a breakthrough skill, I can stop Augur. You see what I did there? Like, it's always going to be a way to out something. So I feel like this card is going to be relevant in this upcoming format. And not to mention, it's also decent against siding against Battery Man too, because if you get rid of their micro, so they pretty much lose. They can't really do shit. Lightning Prisoner Mirror, this should be obvious. Your Battery Man and your Satellite Knight matchup. Satellite Knights can really catch you off guard. And the reason why I side 2 of these for Satellite Knights is because I'm also siding my Chaos Trap Hole, my Thunder King, and my Maxis for that matchup. And by siding these 4, 5, 8 cards, I'm going to open up at least one of them, and it's the same theory for when I side against Shadow and Burning Abyss. Opening up one or 2 of these could pretty much win me the game. Opening up this can win me the game by hitting the nib. Opening up Thunder King can shut the whole deck down. Light Mirror, you guys know it's going to control the board. Flying Sea, stopping their XC plays, can slow them down. Even though they're still going to gain advantage, if they can't make XCs and you can come back with a Raigeki follow-up play or a Dark Hole, it's going to be pretty much GG no re, especially if you max seed them and they actually took the challenge like a goof. For Burning Abyss, I do side in with this side deck. I go all of these, like I said, the Chaos Trap Hole, which is like, I like the side deck because it can hit multiple matchups, and pretty much you're siding in the same thing pretty much for multiple matchups. The 3 Shadow Mirrors, the 1 Soldier, and the 1 Macro, the 1 Chaos Trap Hole. But you're also siding in the 1 Max and the 1 Flying Sea. Now, once again, I know a lot of you guys are saying, well, Burning Abyss contribute off the Flying Sea, and Flying Sea is bad. But I'm going to make an argument right now saying they're not always going to have their out. Once again, you can't play the outs game because of your opponent having something. That's like saying if I flip Shadow Mirror, they're going to always have the moral tech of the MST. If that was the case, people would cards like Shadow Mirror would be terrible. So I apply the same concept, and it works for me. I Flying Exceed a Burning Abyss player, and they did run Ryza in their main deck, and they did not draw the Riser. I mean, yeah, one game the guy drew the Riser, and he's still out because I have breakthrough skill. But the simple fact is, like, they're not always going to have their out. So I feel like Flying Sea can catch the opponent off guard, and it's still relevant to the matchup. I mean, and when you think about it, look, you're siding in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards just for one deck. You're going to open up at least 2 to 3 of these. And these are all pretty much solid cards that can help you win the game against the deck, except Maxi. Maxi just helps you keep your momentum. But you guys get the point. So, yeah. The Satellite Night matchup, you pretty much going to want to side in your Light Swarm, with this side deck, your Light Imprisoned Mirrors, and 1 Thunder King, and all of this, because, like I said, Thunder King can pretty much win you the game. Light Mirrors control the board. Chaos Trap Holes and all of this can pretty much help you keep your momentum up as well. And so, yeah. And as for the rogue decks, you have your Max Siege, your Flying Seas for any Exceed-based deck. You have your Crosshouse for any Troll deck. Thunder King is always good against Synchro decks. And Macro and Soul Drain is always good against Graveyard-based decks, like I said earlier before. Now, I know I'm missing some topics I wanted to bring out in this video, but you know how it is when you make a video, everything's not going to come out perfect. So that's why I want to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. Comment down in the comment section down below, what do you guys think of this side deck? And what else do you know it could hit for a fact that it'll be relevant against? Because honestly, this side deck has been winning me games. Trust me, guys. Like, my locals is really competitive, and I go to 2 different locals. One is Niles and Pastimes. They used to hold Yu-Gi-Oh! Regionals, but they can't because they're too small now. And the other one is Hot Sauce Games in Chicago, and we have a lot of pretty solid players and some YCS and ARG toppers. So these locals have helped me keep up with the meta with my gadget deck. So once again, comment down in the comment section below what do you guys think of this side deck, and comment down in the comment section below if you guys are a rogue deck, how would you improve this side deck, and what other decks do you think this side deck could be good against. This is Yugioh21 with how to sign for the October 2014 format. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'm out. Deuces. Have a good day.